authentic legal news. We have started this journey with a very few handful of people and was started by Mr. M. A. Rashid, who's a lawyer who now turned into this as a director of Livelo, who has previously been a writer and a commentator. He started answeringlaw.com, which is one of the first legal website of this country. He authored many books for lawyers and law students. He revised Ratan Lal, Dheeraj Lal's Indian Penal Code, which is also revised by Justice Kathy Thomas. The co-founder of Livelaw is Mr. P.P. Dinesh, who was practicing in Supreme Court of India for past 25 years. So when we started this journey, like we were hardly say 5 to 8 people working as a whole, and the mission was very clear cut from the beginning that legal reporting should be more and more accurate, more and more transparent, and accessible to the common man. It was always a firm belief that more information about the judiciary will make it more transparent and accurate and accountable. Thereby, it will strengthen its role in a constitutional democracy. Always, constitution has been paramount for us, and we are committed and to follow and abide it. Whatever constitution says is strictly followed by us. We never promote anything which is contrary to the constitution or against any constitutional morality and principle. It has not been an easy journey, if I say, like live law has been sailing through easily. There are several ups and downs. There are several challenges because when you're working remotely, the team of live law is spread pan India. Like the founders are operating from Kerala. The team is in Delhi. We have pan India correspondents. So it's not easy to coordinate, but once you are coordinated, you are committed towards your job. You know your job well, and once you are determined towards it, so it's very easy when you are having good guiding mentors with you. Your team is well coordinated and passionate. So the work becomes easy.
Yeah, thank you so much for this. And now I have this second question with me, that why one should prefer live law over the other law portals as available in it, the online world, and how live law is different from others.
Okay.
Can you hear me,
So
Sukriti?
I can.
I'm not able to. Yeah.
So live law has always been a one-stop destination for lawyers and law students because we are not confined to a particular area. We have been trying to cover all the possible legal aspects, all the orders and judgments of the court. We try to cover everything which is happening in the legal arena. We don't have to, and why when we have been asked that why we are different, so we are not in the run of money making, or no, we are not in the run of into into any competition for getting TRPs or to high rankings. We are just doing our job from past 7 years, where quality has always been paramount for us, and we are not compromising it for any cost. We do often publish these critical views and opinions, but for us, when the constitution is supreme, we respect the judicial institution. So our intent is never to defame the institution, but we always strive to bring out the facts and to respect and to strengthen this organization. And that's what I feel the part of journalism is, that it is solely an activity of gathering, assessing, and creating and for presenting news and information. Because we never twist the facts, and just it's as simple that in legal journalism you don't have any scope for twisting any of the facts, because that will ultimately land you to contempt. So no one would like to go behind the bars by publishing anything against the judiciary. We are committed and we always publish something which is accurate and relevant to all of us.
Yes, it has, as we all know, that it has just happened with the Prashant Bhushan for a contempt of court by the Supreme Court in a recent matter. So yes, legal journalism had to be protected by themselves by seeing to it that they do not twist the facts, and they have to be clear whatever has been presented by the court. So my next question would be on today's topic, that how you will introduce today's topic for all the viewers, that how to publish your article on live law.
Publishing article in live law is not not that tough, or that's not a very rocket science. It's just simple that you send your views, you send your opinions upon various legal topics, various academic legal topics. As if I say that our editorial policy is guided by the values and enshrined by the preamble of this constitution. We want to create more and more legal awareness to the society because we have been as claimed as the trustworthy source of accurate legal news. So our job is to promote the authentic legal information. So we expect from our readers who are sending their opinions and columns to submit us something which not we always look forward something which has a relevant question of law involved in it, which put forward any novel interpretation of law or which highlights problems with the current legal framework. Because we always encourage articles which take a critical view or approach, critical view of the approach of the judiciary, or which falter it in keeping judicial independence and upholding constitutional values. But we always keep a very strict contempt check as well, that there should be criticism, but in constructive manner. It shouldn't be harsh or it shouldn't be unbalanced. There should be a well-founded and a well-balanced opinion within its limit, because being a critic never allows you to be defame an institution in which especially when you're a part of it. So see, us, it's a very important job which we do to publish the articles, but within our limits. But the role, if I say, I'll simplify, is that you present a no, relevant question of law, you bring out an academic fact, you articulate your thoughts upon any legal issue, and we are here to publish it after if it meets our editorial guidelines.
Yeah. So it was a very brief introduction to today's topic. So the next thing which comes to our mind is that yes, we can publish our articles on live law, but when we are quoting the other works, etc., how should we cite them so that there is no plagiarism in the article to be sent to live law?
See, we usually solicit original works and original works. But if you want to quote any reference or you are quoting any case laws, so you can't just the similar way you do to any law journal or you do while preparing any research paper. You can give relevant footnotes and references to your article.
You can continue, Sukriti.
I can. No, I'm just done with this. You need to just mention relevant footnotes and references.
Oh, that's all right. So what should be the main points to be kept by the person who is articulating an article in a live law so that it fulfills the live law's criteria in getting it published?
While either if you write to live law, you're writing anywhere, it's very important for you to be very specific about what you're writing upon. Because the first thing which everyone should keep in mind is that choose your topic wisely. Whichever topic you're considering for writing, you should be very confident and very much sure about it. And you should check that whether relevant content is available on that, whether it is something which you can articulate. You should not choose something which is like more and more complex and technical for you to deal in an article. You should be very selective while you're giving heading to your article, because that completely in one short line introduces the entire context what you're dealing with. When you're going with the body of the article, your subheadings and heading will really determine a lot, because the first thing that attracts and which has been highlighted are those. The language and vocabulary must be very, very simple, because there is no point of dealing such very technical and very lucrative words to decorate your article, but just not understood by a common man or a ordinary layman find it very hard to deal with a legal article. If it's general opinion piece, but if you're dealing with certain academic articles, then you may quote some of the terms, phrases, some of the words which is there, a technical legal complex term. But if you're dealing with any contemporary issue or if you're writing it as a column to the people, so it's very important for you to think from the reader's perspective, that how a reader wants to read this article, how a reader wants it, how simple it can be, how you are articulating your thoughts. They should be connected one and after that. It should be in a form that it should not break the line. It should be started from the beginning and should be concluded with a very well analysis and conclusion. Your references must be very accurate. You should not try to just compile all the facts and present it. Your facts should be very much concise and straight to the point. There is no point of just making a complete thesis or a document, because we always try to publish the best quality content in a very limited language.
Yes, definitely. The limit should always be there in the article. It should not like that somebody is writing a story and which is not ending. I got that your point. Thereafter, we have the question like, how is your criteria of acceptance and rejection of an article which is being given to live law by any author?
Quality is quality, and what I always say, research is very much important in the article, because we always have those issues which examine any kind of legal angle or any important question of law. So what we actually look for is the original work of an author, like what insight you have given upon a particular topic, what is your view upon the particular topic, how well the article has been researched, how well you have supported your article with cases, with present scenario, with latest case laws. That is what more important. You may put provisions, but try to be more and more analytical in your approach. Try to be more and more, I'll say, selective in your language.
Yeah, the language should very much be selective what you are writing to the live law or writing in your article. So now we have that, how your live law is different from other law portals and why one should refer you.
See, there are in legal field also there are several legal portals upon different subject matter. We are a news portal which are dealing with several other aspects also. Like we have a specific law school corner. There are websites on specifically dealing with law school events and corner. We have a category of it. So live law is overall, it's everything about law. You'll get every information. You'll get job updates over there. You'll get cases on RTI. You'll have cases on environment section. You can get all the details of the events also. There is a Know the Law series, which is an informative series by Live Law for an ordinary layman also, which can they want to read about any contemporary or about general legal rights, which is there. We have columns. So Live Law is somewhat of in whole compiled form of like all the law portals are dealing with specific topics. So we have tried to cover it all at once. So if you're looking not to go 3-4 tabs and just want to get it in one, so Live Law.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So now we want to ask something, is that there is any similarity between you and the law search softwares, or there is some difference? Actually, the law students or the advocates, we think are that this is also some kind of a search engine or a software. So does you have some formula or some software thing which provide to search the law available with live law?
In a law, we are like from 2013, from when we started till now, we have provided all the content accessible to our viewers that they can read it as well as save it. We have the subscription plan which has been launched with this intent that the entire content of live law has been made accessible and you can search it. All the leading judgments and orders which has been covered by live law is easily accessible to you. You can search it. There is a search option on the website where you can search all the relevant case laws and you can read it. Along with that, we have a weekly, monthly digest also where you can find the compilation of all the overall happenings. We have a YouTube channel separately dealing with weekly roundups as well. So what law research tool does that they are completely related to the case management system. They are focusing only upon that. So they help you in searching cases, compiling them, and they provide services related to legal search only. Where on live law, you can not only read a story, but what happens in a story is that when any judgment is covered, so it's not only on the basis of the judgment which has been delivered by the honorable court, but we try to give courtroom insights as well. Like all the contemporary or landmark cases which we have, especially if you say we have covered NJAC, we have covered Ayodhya, we have covered 377, or all these leading cases, we have covered a day-to-day live streaming of these cases. You can get the insight of what is happening in the court and what actually was the outcome of it in a previous story.
Okay, so we can have both the things, that what has happened in the court and what is the outcome of that case. Both will be given to us in the live law. So
Yeah.
once the articles are there with you, so how you do and differentiate the articles on their quality and subject? Now this is an important question to you which comes from the various readers which comes from the various viewers. They wanted to know that what is the actually different, how you differentiate them on the quality in the subject.
We have an editorial board to deal with the articles because each and every article we receive is considered by us. We have a check with them. It is a multi-level exercise which is followed once we receive an article. Because in our editorial board, we have tried to cover and try to have experts of various legal subjects. That we have one of our editor might be diligent in arbitration. We have our editors diligent in criminal law. We have people who are dealing with corporate law. So whenever any article comes, it goes to a particular editor who's expert in that subject. He reviews that article, he checks that article, he does the fact check, he does the plagiarism check, he makes revisions if possible in it, and then after the article is published. So whenever any article is received, it's demarcated on the basis of the subject, and then it is assigned to a particular editor who is well connected and thoroughly having a knowledge in that, especially when we receive something which relates to various statistics and various facts also. So we refer and verify those facts and various stats through the relevant authority as well. Those subjects in which our editors are not like something which relates to, I think, a subject which is related to law and public policy. So we have consulting editors also who guide us along with that. So each and every article which comes to LiveLaw doesn't go like this. It goes to the relevant editors. They check it. It's a multi-level exercise which takes a bit time. That has always been complained by the authors that the time process which we take to edit any article and to bring it out is too long, like 4 to 5 days usually, especially during this COVID when we are having a various very limited manforce. So it's very tough to consider all the articles, but we are not rejecting all of them. We are considering all of them. What we are taking is time because few people are handling all, and we are waiting for all our editors to respond and back to work so that we can process the article. Because as I say, quality we cannot compromise at any cost. So to maintain that, it's very important to get the article be reviewed by the concerned person who's an expert. So this process usually takes a time because on an average we receive like 70 to 80 articles per day. So to review, to track, and to just publish all those articles is a very tedious process.
Yes, absolutely. And in adding to that, we are very thankful to the LiveLaw and your whole staff that who has been tirelessly working despite there being the COVID-19. You guys are not taking rest and try to give us as much as the possible information from the courts, from the every corner of the India, whatever district and the high courts. The possible information has been given by you, keeping in mind the quality of the articles and the laws which has been published daily. So yes, obviously you have an editorial board and we all do respect the same, but I know this is a bit technical question to ask to you, or to ask you to broaden the principles. How do you actually filter the articles and how much time your editorial board takes in filtering that?
First of all, original articles are always appreciated. That we always appreciate original thoughts and views. We doesn't refer anything which has been just taken from here and there, compiled and just presented. Because not for the sake of publishing, we get any article live on LiveLaw, because see, when the credibility is there, it's a very big responsibility for you to maintain it. For maintaining it for so many years, it took us to take a lot of harsh criticism from the viewers that LiveLaw doesn't publish, or LiveLaw doesn't values all the articles, but it's not like that. The sole basis is, I'll say in simple words, because it's something which is a confidential policy, but if I say in very simple words, that quality, the original work, the more and more research, as I said, to highlight or to articulate something which brings out a new fact or very insightful analysis is always appreciated by us. And time, as I mentioned, manually, if you go through these articles, so to read the entire content, along with that, dealing all the daily happenings. So it takes time, usually 4 to 5 days it takes for an article. Nowadays, it's a bit delayed to 6 to 7 days, but 3 to 4 days, max 5 days, it takes for us to publish an article.
how much time it generally takes once you take an article and then your editorial board starts? So generally you say you just said that every day you deal with 70 to 80 articles, but how you make them finalize, how much the time process is?
Once the revision has been done, once the fact check has been done, plagiarism check has been done, once we are okay with the content, then only it gets for final proofreading, and then the article has been published.
So Sukriti, can you explain that what is the structure of like how it first comes to this man, then it goes to the editorial board, then it goes for plagiarism, and then it goes for the final checks? Like what's the system of yours is there for publishing an article? How much steps are
So,
there?
so when an article has been received, it's received on our mails. Like some articles has been sent to me, some has been sent to an official mail. So from the official mail, the mail has been distributed to the editors. Then they compile and just prepare slots to consider each and every article. They, in that slot, they keep days to make a fact check of all the articles. Then they do the plagiarism. We have tools and software for plagiarism check. So then it goes through that. Then certain articles are there in which revisions are required or some facts are missing. So to check that, to browse all those facts and to add in the article. Then finally it uploads on a website before publishing. So there, a final team, the editorial board, so our editor-in-chief and our managing editor usually reviews that article once it has been gone through all these division and checks. And once they approve it, then the article goes live, and then my job comes to share it and circulate it and to just acknowledge all those articles.
Oh, wonderful. That's a wonderful job which you keep at your desk to share and circulate the articles. So the next question of mine is like, how do our viewers or like anybody, even the senior advocates, think sometimes that how I should get my article published on Live Law? Like what should be their choice of topic for publication in Live Law? Or like randomly anybody can send anything to you? What you say it's a principles for publishing an article in Live Law? What should be the topic one should go for?
We haven't restricted anyone from sending anything. In fact, we have facilitated the system of sending articles. There has been a separate email address now which we have developed, columns@livelaw.in, for specifically dealing with articles, where if anyone who wish to write for us, who has penned down their thoughts on any legal issue or any legal topic, they can send us the article. There is no preference, there is no privilege has been given to anyone. Any articles are welcome, subject to our editorial policy. If that article is considered, it will go live. If we feel that there is something to be added on our behalf, we do it on our behalf. But if there is something, there are major errors in the article, then we send it back to the author for revision. Then when it has been sent back, it goes with the same process as I mentioned. So anyone can write to us. Anyone can write to us. Just they have to stick with legal point of view. They should be a very legal, very strictly legal topic, or any topic dealing with any contemporary legal issue. We do not solicit anything which solicits any oneself. Like we cannot cater that article which promotes a lawyer or a particular organization.
What if like do we have some chronologically to be maintained in publishing an article? What should be a
Chronology as
chronology?
in chronology as
As in, as in with regard to the taking of the topic, then coming to its contents, then leading it to the conclusion, like in this way.
it's very easy. Like when once you choose the topic, you should introduce it well. You should then, if it's a if in academic writings, usually you mention the provisions, then you mention all the relative laws. If you're comparing it with foreign any laws which are dealt in foreign countries, you correlate with that. You try to mention as many as case laws with that. If anything which has been or any new principle which has been said related to that particular subject by the honorable court, you mention and cite that. Then you give your insight. Then you conclude or analyze your article. It's very important, in my opinion, to give an analytical view if you are considering any topics. So there should be your analysis, because we provisions are mentioned in the book. Case laws are there on the portals or everywhere in the book. What we actually look in columns is your own opinion, is your insights, what new you have done, what new you have brought out from that point. It's very important to have that analysis and research is very important in any of the articles.
Yes, yes, absolutely, Sukriti. This research part is definitely another key point to have the articles published. And Sukriti, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Sukriti, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you. Oh, the video is
Yeah.
not appearing.
So now this another. Yeah.
Your voice is cracking.
Now
Hello.
is it okay now?
Yeah, it is.
Is it okay?
Yeah, it is okay.
Is it okay, Sukriti?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So my next question is like, yeah. So my next question, am I audible?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Am I audible? Yeah.
Yeah, please
So
go
my
ahead.
next question is that what what is the usual word limit which we should try and adhere to while publishing an article in a live law?
There is no word limit as such. We haven't just tried to confine any issue, but it will be good. It will be great if you just stick to your topic and be confined in your views. Just be concise and up to the point. So there is no word limit as such that you should write something in 1,000 words or 2,000 words or 5,000 words. No, just be up to the topic. Stick to your topic. Stick to your research. Just don't smuggle everything.
So
So one
yes,
question I can
now
see like on my
I
chat box also. Can you hear me?
no, we will be answering the questions little later after the session. We'll be
Okay.
taking the questions from the chat box. Then I'll be asking it from you.
Okay.
Uh, so any suggestions, Sukriti, which you would like to give to our viewers with regard to the writing style when one is writing an article as opposed to when one is drafting the pleadings? Because generally what happens, we being the lawyers try to draft the pleadings in an article. So I need a suggestion of yours on that.
Like the way when you draft pleading, you just check about, be very concise and keep it very short and simple. So try to keep your article short and simple. Don't pile up it with unnecessary facts or irrelevant provisions. Just stick to it. Highlight more of your research. Highlight more of your thoughts and insights. So that is something I would like to suggest to all, because being lawyers, you people know more than us. So when you write, when you draft something, you do a lot of research. You bring out all the case laws. You try to make grounds. So the similar way you make grounds, it's very important for you to be very concise and stick to your topic. And research just the way you are preparing for a case.
Yeah, I know, Sukriti, that how much an important the research is. I had been remaining official law researcher in for even the judges while writing their judgments. So definitely, I think it's important for the articles also in the same manner that the judgments or their thought has some research which is required to be given along with the article which they sent you for publishing, right? So then I want to ask you that normally how long does live law takes to respond to an offer to publish an article from a person?
Once we receive the article and once it's published, basically we reply back along with the published link of the article. So it's the same time it takes to get your article published on LiveLaw. As soon as it's published, you will be replied back with the link for acknowledgement. So it's the same time of 3 to 4 days, max to max 5 days for an article.
Okay, so I think your phone video is also coming live. There is some
Is
thing.
it? No, no.
Okay. So now how one should approach to live law for publishing their article? I think this would be a repetition of the introduction which I just sought from you, but definitely this question now comes that how one should approach live law for publishing the article, or in a way I will ask you that how do we reach out to you and whom do we contact when we want to send an article to live law for publication?
There is a separate email which you have mentioned in that is collins@livelaw.in. So there you may submit your articles, and that is the key point of contact for you, because there is no specific point of contacting, or you have to mention before someone that you are submitting an article. Also, so collins@livelaw.in is the email address where anyone can send their articles.
So do live law posts any internships, jobs? If yes, then what is the procedure for that? And as many young law students see their career in live law also. So could you throw some light on that also, Sukriti?
We in live law keep interns as well. We have been we have been circulating information regarding the vacancy for correspondents, interns on our various social media handles. So after this COVID also, we'll be coming up with an internship program, in which there would be two kind of internships, that we would be keeping researchers for the deck stories, and we would be keeping just as an experiment, we would be keeping 2 or 3 interns who would be coordinating with our correspondents, because it's now being part of this system, part of legal journalism. It's very important for us to give quality legal correspondence also, because nowadays the mainstream media has also shifted towards legal journalism. They have been considering it very important. They are covering courtroom updates also, and it has been seen that sometimes misreporting has been done by several news channels as such, because they are reporters. They are not able to understand the complex complications of a case. So it's very important to produce good legal reporters as well, to good legal correspondents as well. So in our upcoming internship program, we would be having 2 or 3 interns from third year of law till 5th year, who would be interning with our correspondents, and they will be assisting them in the course.
Okay, thanks for that, Sukriti. So I think with this information, everybody can, those who are law students can definitely seek some internship at live law. So have
Definitely,
something bright for the future. Now, Sukriti, from here I'll be taking some questions which has come on chat.
Yeah,
So
your voice
the
is
first question which
distorting
has
a
come
bit,
to us by one Vineet
Your voice
Wadla,
is distorting a
he
bit.
has asked, ma'am,
Hello?
am I audible?
Yeah, your voice
Am I
is
audible?
distorting in between. Yeah.
Is it all right now?
Yeah, it's fine.
So the first question is, one of our viewers has asked that is the author required to have some previous experience also?
No, there is no previous experience as such, because we are accepting contributions and columns from all, either be a law student, a law researcher, a lawyer, judges, academicians, bureaucrats. So our readership is not confined to a particular group. It's open for all. So we invite articles from all, whether be a fresher law student can write, a judge can write, a lawyer can write to us. There is no prior experience required. What all is required is a very qualitative piece from your side.
Okay. So the next question is, I think is almost similar to the question which I asked you about the word limit. But here, this Anirban has asked us that is there any specific font size and specific word limit that has to be there for sending an article to live law?
Word limit, as I mentioned, that it needs to be as short and simple. If it's a it's on an contemporary topic. If it's an academic topic, then there is a very lengthy article or very exhaustive piece can be submitted. But as far as font is something, so we have our own system. While we upload any article, it would turn out to be in the standard font system or the entire process, which is followed by live law. So you may submit in any of the font. It will go in the font which we have maintained so far.
Okay. So after this, I have another question by Advocate Sangrito. He's asking that considering that live law is quite popular, indeed it is very popular, Sangrito, what are the criteria for the paper to be completely accepted and published at live law?
That I think I've answered earlier also, that an original piece which would be having which has been dealing a very specific question of law, which would bring out something new, a new fact, or any new idea which involves in it, which brings out or which criticizes any of the legal, I'll say, anything legal happening in a very constructive manner is allowed. So there is no like a very much criteria or something like that, but just be very specific with your topic, deal with more and more contemporary topics, so have more and more insights, try to relate it with all the current happenings, with the observation of the court, with the observation of the judges, try to enrich it with as best possible quality content you can, and try to bring out an original piece.
Yeah, the originality has to be maintained every time while sending an article to the live law. I think that we have gathered through the whole session from you. The originality of the article will definitely be having a priority. So now coming to the next question, somebody has asked that what should be the tactics to have an introduction of an article. I think this is a very articulative question which has been asked from Sukriti.
Yeah, the you should introduce your topic really well in a very I'll say your writing skill must be highlighted in that. Your writing skills will show how well you have introduced your topic. Like if you're dealing with anything, it should not be something that your article is dealing with something, your introduction is saying something else. Your article or the entire article should be formulated in a way that it should tell a story, or it should tell something which goes one to in a sequential manner. It should not go in all four ways. So your introduction must be like very well in using very well language. I'll say introduce well your topic with, for example, if you, like, I was dealing an article when I was a student. So that I can mention that when you're dealing an introduction of an article, started go very I'll say in a very go with a very good flow of mentioning basic details and facts which should which will show your intention about the article, that what you're trying to bring in it, what you're trying to show with your article, what is the idea of this into of writing this article is very important for you to highlight in your introduction, instead of just compiling so and so, or just mentioning or getting through the article. And in the first line itself, if you mention the section and the act just and you just giving it point wise, so it won't look that appealing. Just maintain a very decent flow with with the idea of your article, with the idea you're carrying to write this article.
Yes, absolutely correct. I think there is one more question which has been asked by Siddhi Advocate. She has asked like your articles are there and they remain on the portal for 3 days and thereafter they get expired. So this is with regard to the judgments. Is it with regard to the same with the articles which you
Yes,
publish on the columns?
yes.
So the
The entire
policy of the
content.
live law is same for.
See, that is what the subscription model says, that the content is accessible to the premium subscribers, and the current day or after 3 to 7 days, the entire content would not be available. So if you're a subscriber, you would be able to access
Definitely,
the
that is why.
content from 2013 till now.
Yes, and that is why you are here in the market. I think with this answer, everybody should get to know that how important is the live law for everyone to have it.
The reason why the subscription plan has been started, I'll tell you, Nitesh, because we are not into any money making business. So we don't rely on anything which goes like for a commercial impact. We make money via fun. We make money via the subscription plan. We don't or through the banner advertisements or something like that. We are not a very commercial organization who's intending to make money, because if that could have been the point, then Livela could not have been sticking to its standards for publication. So subscription model has been introduced to make this process of bringing all the updates to because to get this news and updates live to all, to get this entire setup arranged, a very heavy expense is involved in it. And to maintain the quality and efficiency, you need to pay to the people who are working for you. You have to pay them for their work. You have to acknowledge their work. So it's a very lengthy process which has been dealt, and that's why the subscription model has been encouraged. And because since we are someone who is into independent journalism, so to maintain this principle, it's very hard to survive. And for survival, this subscription plan has been made. Though we have kept the rates of our subscription the lowest minimum possible we can, and we timely offer discounts also. We offer student concessions also. We provide bus subscription to all law schools also, so that the students in whole can access it via their institution.
So yeah, that was a kind mortality which you are following, not exactly being going into the commercial line of business, but yes, to provide the law, being the live, you definitely need some kind of a expenditure that too comes by a way of subscription. So that is why this model of subscription has been introduced by live law. So taking it to a little further, how much of your the live law correspondence, this was all about the article. I'm just taking you a little further. So when we are like your constant correspondents who are standing in the courts, and even if one important verdicts come out, they immediately typed it and just send it across to you, and it comes and reflected on our screens that this is by live law. So
Right.
how that model works?
See, it's very tough to hear the observation. It's very tough to grasp the information amongst the chaos which is there in the court, because when especially any land path breaking judgment is coming, the court is jam packed. So amongst the chaos, it's really a very tough job that the correspondent do. That they hear the entire proceedings, they note it down everything, and specifically when the observation has been given. So as soon as they give it, they prepare the notes, they come out, they give us they have prepared a story on it. They just mention all the observations. They give you all the relevant observations. They give all the relevant points which has been highlighted by the court, and then it comes to us after our piece of editing. It goes live. So there also the process of editing is required, because we cannot publish, because that is the raw information which we get from our reporters. So it may contain sometimes some grammatical errors or something like that. So as soon as we get the information, we edit it, and it goes live to all.
Yeah, absolutely true and correct, because I was one of the witness to such an incident in Supreme Court when the court was jam-packed for this telecom matters, and the three judges were sitting and the correspondents were just behind us, though I having a batter in the same court, but they asked me that, look, we have to give this information to all our viewers. So I can understand that how much difficulty they face, and even after facing the difficulty, they make us very convenient for us to bring that news in the correct form. So I can really understand that work of the correspondents of the live law.
And that is why this internship program will be introduced to those who will be assisting a correspondent, to understand, to make students understand how important it is to, like, because being a legal correspondent also gives you that responsibility that you should be very much very concrete in the subject. Anyone can't go and stand in the court and report any matter. The person who is dealing with a specific matter has to do a lot of homework, has to do a lot of the research. He should know the entire background story. The person who's doing the trial, who's been dealing with a case on day-to-day basis, so they are sitting for like 4 to 5 hours since morning till afternoon. The court is hearing. So they are observing each and every fact by one of the other lawyers, and they send us the entire details. So it's a very tedious task, and that requires promptness and that presence of mind to just note down and to mention all the and the relevant facts. That is what this upcoming internship will help students to understand, so that we can have quality I say correspondence also.
Yeah, definitely. Why not? So, being an advocate practicing in the High Court and Supreme Court, I have deviated you from little away from the topic and started doing the cross examination. I think that's not correct on my part. So let me have Ms. Sukriti Singh again to lead us to the conclusion of today's introduction, that how to publish your articles in a small paragraph, that in a concise manner, how an article should be all about.
I'll say that very simple channel is there for publication, because since we are supporting something which I say independent journalism, so it is for everyone who's reading live law. They are welcomed to write for us. You can submit your articles at columns@livelaw.in. It would be great if you just post it on the chat box also, so that everyone can take note of it. You submit your article, you submit your pieces which is well researched, well some bring out some good facts from the law. Just be analytical and critical in our approach, and try to build a constructive criticism. Highlight all those questions of law which has been dealt by the honorable court. Try to analyze it, trying to bring out a vision out of it. And that's what we are looking for. Those columns which provides a visionary approach is something else that would not be insightful for us, but could be insightful for all of us. Because that's how it is required when we are a part of this system, that we have to be more and more critical, but we should also maintain the dignity of this institution. To write and research well and submit to us, we are trying to consider, and we will publish all those articles which meet our editorial requirements. And your articles and columns would be reach out to the maximum of all, because our readership is not confined to India. It spans, it's across the globe, from because we received the feedback that it's followed in different courts abroad also. So try to bring out something which would reach out your views to not only to this country but to all across the globe.
Okay. Uh, with that, I have one last question which has just jumped in by Siddhi. Siddhi and Sangrito has been my the assisting members of today's webinar. So Siddhi is asking one interesting question, that how your reporting of this, let me see, what was this question again, that how is your team managing to report the judgments during the lockdown when the hearings are done via video conferencing?
So we have been provided the access to view or hear the courtroom proceedings. So now our editors are not in the court, but they are along with the counsel. They have been provided the access to attend the hearing. So from there, they are just noting out all the facts and doing all these reporting. So either be virtual or on ground reality, we are there up live presenting all the legal information.
So can you again, Sukriti, I'll be taking 1 minute of yours. Can you again provide me that email so that I can send across to everyone on chat?
It's columns. Can I type it on the chat box?
Yeah, you can do it for our viewers.
I'll do it. It's columns@livelaw.in.
Thank you so much. And I'll be taking the very last question. I know that this is not related to the subject, but definitely I know that this is related to the today's collaboration with the live law. So how did you felt about today's collaboration with our office on the webinar for live law? And for that, if you can have some words.
It's really good that during this quarantine, this initiative has been started to stay connected and specifically dealing with this topic, so that more and more people can utilize their time during this quarantine, this lockdown, and come up with their opinions. And via this webinar and this virtual connection, it would be convenient for all of us to connect during these times. There should not be a link which has to be broken. We should have to be strict and stuck to our professional commitments. So why this technology, when these webinars and all these facilities are available, we should try to utilize it to the maximum.
Thank you so much, Sukriti, for there with being us today and delivering this wonderful session that how to publish your articles on live law. Our office and all viewers and audience are very much thankful to you for the time which you are sparing with us, and definitely to get us connect with this session. Thank you so much, Sukriti.
Thank you so much for having me here. Looking forward for some more wonderful webinars on other topics as well.
Definitely, we are looking forward for the same.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.